We know that the New York Jets have a ton of work to do this offseason, but what are some names that people aren't talking about that might become available? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to be talking about NFL free agency, but more importantly, we're going to be talking about obviously the positions that we know that the New York Jets are going to be in on, but more importantly, we're going to talk about some names that aren't being brought up because technically they are signed to teams right now, but they can sneak free and become available. We're going to talk about all of that today. Don't forget, if you're watching this a couple of hours before this came out, tonight at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, Green Bean and I do a new show on the Talkin' Jets channel called Armchair GM. So go leave a like on that video, go hang out and watch it and be a part of the fun times. Week 1 was so exciting and so much fun. Week 2 is going to be even more exciting. So we're excited to talk about that. But let's have this conversation. Now, we all know that every free agency, every offseason, players shake free that we did not expect to become available. Last year, the New York Jets went after one of those players, and it didn't necessarily work out for us. But it was a player that people weren't really talking about, and that was Dalvin Cook. No one really expected the Minnesota Vikings to really let him go, and they did, and we brought him on, and we shouldn't have. Now, that's a conversation for a different video, but we're in a position where the New York Jets are going to have to attack free agency for very specific positions. And there might be guys that sneak free. I think the biggest ones that you have to take a look at are going to be the wide receivers and obviously the offensive tackles, because specifically wide receivers, because I think that that's probably going to be an area where you're going to need to bring somebody in. But also, a sneaky need might be the interior of the offensive line with the limbo that is Laken Tomlinson and what might happen or what might not happen with his contract and whether he stays on the team and all of those things. We might be in the market for a guard. And right now, as free agency stands, it's not that good of a class when you look at the players that might sneak free. Yeah, there's a lot of really good wide receivers, but most of them probably aren't going to leave their teams, right? Good players don't necessarily hit free agency all that often. Franchise tag sucks, and that's one of the reasons why. But when we look at this list of players that could be cut that could make a lot of savings for their teams, the list becomes a lot more interesting of possibilities of players that come out. Really quickly, let's look at the wide receiver market. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, both of the Chargers, if they would get cut, would save $23 million and $20 million, respectively. Tyler Lockett could save $17 million if cut post June 1st. DeAndre Hopkins could save $16 million if he's a post June 1st. Cortland Sutton could save $13.5 million post June 1st. Marquez Valdes-Scantling could save $12 million. Hunter Renfrow could save $12 million post June 1st. Deontay Johnson could save $10 million. Michael Gallup could save $10 million post June 1st. And then a bunch of other names. Brandon Cooks could save $4 million if he's cut. Allen Robinson can save $10 million if he's cut. So the wide receiver market now becomes a lot more interesting because I would take a lot of those guys. We talked about some of those guys as potential trade targets. Hunter Renfrow, Cortland Sutton, and so now a wide receiver market that wasn't really all that good, especially like in the top end it was good. T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, like those are really, really good names. But the reality is T. Higgins is expected to get franchise tagged. Michael Pittman is expected to get franchise tagged. Mike Evans is expected to sign a new deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That makes the wide receiver market not all that great. Yeah, I'd love a guy like Calvin Ridley to come to the team and everything like that. It's just, if he's the number one wide receiver in this free agency period, well, you got a lot of competition for a guy like that. And we don't have all of the money in the world. And what do? He's only played 1 year. He had that missed year. He had that time where he missed a bunch of time in 2021. It's essentially been 2 years since he's played. And this past year where he's played a full season, he did really well. but not great. Are you really going to pay him top of the wide receiver market money when you don't need a wide receiver one specifically, right? Because we got Garrett Wilson. Well, this list of wide receivers that could shake free shakes up that wide receiver market, brings down the value of some of these other guys because there's more names available. And when we take into consideration what we just saw with the Kansas City Chiefs, they refused to overpay for wide receivers, and they still went out there and won a Super Bowl. I'm just saying there's a lot of possibility of guys and of players maybe sneaking free that we didn't expect. Continue that conversation with the offensive line class. Now, we've brought up guys like David Bakhtiari, who we know isn't going to be on the Green Bay Packers because they save $20 million if they get rid of him. But other guys on the offensive line that could shake free, that become interesting. Cam Robinson saves $17 million if he's cut. DJ Humphries saves $16 million if he's cut post June 1st. Charles Leonard Jr. saves $12 million if he's cut post June 1st. Cody Whitehair saves $9 million. Mitch Morse saves $8.5 million. Laken Tomlinson saves $8.1 million. But there's a bunch of these guys. Andre Dillard saves $6.4 million. Morgan Moses saves $5.5 million. Nate Herbig, a player that we all loved, who went to Pittsburgh to be a starting guard and wasn't given the opportunity because they brought in Suemelu. They've saved $4 million if they cut him. I'd love to bring Nate Herbig back. So again, an offensive line class that already isn't that great in free agency can get much deeper and much better with cuts, with people being let go, and that is really, really interesting. The other one that I would keep an eye on is the running back market. I know that that's something that a lot of maybe Jets fans or people aren't looking at, but it is a sneaky need for the New York Jets, and I do feel like we might be in the upper echelon of trying to get a legitimate running back too. And with all of the running backs that could save money, like a significant chunk of money, Nick Chubb, they could save $12 million if they cut him. Don't think that's going to happen. Alvin Kamara, they can save $12 million if they cut him post June 1st. Aaron Jones, they can save $11.5 million post June 1st. James Conner, they can save $6 million. Joe Mixon, they can save $6 million. And Nyheim Hines, they can save $5 million. And so a running back free agency class that is already going to be stacked to the brim with Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon, Devlin Singletary, Zach Moss, a ton of really, really good names, could get even more loaded with more talent for the New York Jets to target. Of the names of the people that we talked about, who do you think is going to shake free? Who do you think is going to shake free that the New York Jets should target? Let me know all of that in the comments below. And I'm going to use this list that Dom C of Project Prospect provided to us in the group chat. I'm going to use this list for next Monday's mock off-season, so stick around for that. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out. And like I said, let me know in the comments what you think. Who do you think shakes free? And if somebody does shake free, who should we target? Let me know. And last but not least, go Jets.